Hi everyone, hope you're all right. Welcome to the live. Not sure how many people have got on yet, so I'll waffle for a little bit and see how many more join in. I'll just double check actually. We are. Oh no, my phone's downstairs, don't matter. So, according to this, I am going live. I can't see anyone viewing yet, so hopefully all is good. Just double check actually. Just bear with me. Yeah, so I can't see what I need to see anyway. So welcome to the live again, and I only decided this morning what I was going to talk about because it's one of my current problems, which is meeting my tax bill after everything I've been going through. My tax savings has been wiped out. But I just thought I'd go over last week, really. I couldn't work Monday, couldn't work Tuesday because of the cold. Wednesday, I only managed half a day because it took 2 hours to actually defrost my van. I didn't do any precautions because it was too cold, so I didn't bother because I knew it wasn't going to work. And I thought when the weather gets better, it's going to thaw out. So we did half a day on Wednesday and finished the other half of that day on the Thursday. Friday was a full day, but that's when that storm Goretta, whatever it was called, named by the French, that arrived in the UK. Obviously, where I'm got away a lot lighter than everywhere else, especially down like Devon. But because of the higher winds, they're chucking it down with rain. I had quite a few skips. And on top of that, I'm sure it's to do with Christmas. So that wasn't like the best day neither. But we got work done anyway. That's the main thing, money coming in. And then I worked Saturday, which was a gutter day. We did, I think it was 4 gutter clears, 2 of them with windows as well, and a conservatory roof. And one of them was another extra job on top of all that, was a catch up of a window clean that couldn't get done Friday. And that's because they had something going on at their home and they wasn't sure if it's going to clash with someone. So we caught up on that one anyway. So that's how last week went, and that's obviously hit me a bit in terms of revenue. So I'm going to work the next few Saturdays this month. I've got one Saturday of the month that I'm working anyway, because I do one Saturday a month that I work on. So hopefully the other 2 Saturdays will be all right, and the rest of the month, depending on the weather, will go all right, and depending on how many skips we get and that. But that's life, innit? But because of the problems I had with my van, where it wiped me out, I had to rely on the money I'd set aside every month to pay my tax bill. I had to use all that as well. And then the beginning of this month, during this week, I've got my tax bill in as well. And that was more than what we thought it was going to be. Because obviously I've had a better year than the year before. And also on my last tax bill during that year, that's when I think I paid for my new engine or something like that. I had some expenses that brought it down a bit. However, the money I save away every month for my tax, if I hadn't used that, I would have had the money sat there to pay my tax bill. But because I've used it, I haven't. So yeah, I just wondered how you go about setting aside money through the year so that when you get your tax bill, you've got the money there to cover it. And it's a bit hard to judge because you don't know how much money you're going to make that particular year, do you? I know for me, I set a certain amount every month to one side. And like I said, judging on the current tax bill that I got with the money that I would have had in there if I hadn't dipped into it, that would have covered it and left me with about £400 to spare. And it's really hard, I find anyway, to work out how you're going to save that money. It's really hard. And that's what I thought I'd do the live on anyway. So what I'll do is just welcome a few people into the chat, because it looks like we've had some comments coming in anyway. So we'll see how we get on with them. Haha. Right, that's not working. Just let me work out what I'm missing. I'm missing me comments. Right, here we go. Sorry, I've got it now. Hi, mate. You all right? Welcome. Thanks for joining in. You all right, Marcus? You all right, mate? Hi, Nelly. Welcome as always, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hi, TJ. You all right? Been a watcher for a while on your vids. Happy New Year to you all, and let's hope the weather, for the weather to steady. Yeah, I think everyone's waiting for that, aren't they? Cheers for joining in, mate. Oh, cheers, buddy. Yeah, nice to know. Took me a while to see all the comments coming in. Hi, James. You all right, mate? Yeah, everything's all right, really. Just worries, which we all have. Hi, Sean. You all right, mate? Hi, Jared. If this year hasn't been great, but the year before was, you can defer your payment on accounts for next year. Oh, I didn't realise that. I also know as well, you can pay your tax bill in instalments if you're really stuck. That's something I'm going to try and avoid, but I've just got to see how this month goes, really. Damage limitation is normal. James said I had to spend my tax bill money as well. Is that with the van, was it? This is my first year using an accountant. It gave me peace of mind and someone has looked it over. Yeah, at the end of the day, the accountant knows more than what I do anyway, in terms of reducing the tax bill. So he's going to do a far better job than I am. And that's probably including with his bill as well. Jared saying I track and forecast all my figures through the year. It lets me know how much to save each month for tax and set it aside in a savings account. It's usually $400 a month for you that you set aside. Yeah, for me, I do $600 a month. That's what I set aside each month. And like I said, if I'd have done that for the whole of the year, which I was very close to until my van went and buggered up. I think it was the end of October and I got my new van the end of November, and that's when it really sort of hit me. But you just got to gamble, haven't you? So yeah, it's interesting to know how you can track it, really, to know how much to set aside. It's difficult because a lot of people say like stick 20% away, but I certainly know when I first started, by the time I paid all your running costs for your business, then your wage that you want to pay yourselves, what you're left with the profit wasn't enough to even cover 20%. And you've also got to leave money in the bank account, haven't you? Because there's things that go wrong, kit and equipment, and you get good months and bad months. It's difficult. And I think as the years go on and you're making more, your running costs sometimes come to more. So it's all about trying to keep your outgoings down, isn't it? But sometimes that's easier said than done. So yeah, that's my current problem, is my tax bill. I've got a bit, but I haven't got enough. And yeah, it's just one of them things. So I'm banking on a good month this month, but you've got the worry of the weather. So obviously the beginning of the month was a weird start and we don't know how the weather's going to go. So you kind of suck it and see, but I'm banking on that. And then I'm sure I've got little bits where I can borrow money. I'm sure I could make it up, or at least pay a really big chunk of it off. And then maybe have to speak to HMRC about paying the rest in instalments. But I ain't going to know that till near the end of the month because we don't know how the rest of the month's going to go, really. And I know, like, when you pay a tax bill, it takes so many days for the money to come across to them. So I'm guessing around the 20th of January is where I'm going to look at everything, use the money I definitely have got to pay a large chunk off anyway, and then see what I can do with the rest and see what I can come up with. I'm sure I'm going to get through it all right because you always seem to find a way, don't you? Sorry, I just put some music on, realise I haven't done that. That's better. So yeah, I'm sure I'm going to find a way, but I'm not the only person in this boat. But it is hard, isn't it? The more you sort of like earn, the more you're going to pay. Sometimes you think, what on earth is it? Is it worth it? But I like what I do. So I'm just going to go back to some of these comments. Where did I get up to? So I'm just trying to keep abreast with everything. TJ saying there's always instalments. Yeah, that's what I may have to. And like you say, you'll make it work. And like you're saying, there's always the rest of the year to go. We've got the warmer months, so it just goes to show you've got to work hard all the time, isn't it? You're working through the difficulty of winter, the skips you're going to get after Christmas, and then in the summer, you've got to take on more work. or the add-ons, try and squeeze them in on top of what you're doing. So you've got money and a bit of a cushion to fall back in. It always comes in handy somewhere along the lines, and you know life's life. There's always something that's going to go wrong somewhere. James is saying, I've always found HMRC very helpful when I've rang them up. Takes ages to get through. But they always seem happy to help if you're trying to do the right thing. Yeah, and a lot of people say that. So I do think they're going to support you. And they've got to, haven't you? Because they're going to lose out, basically, if they don't. Nellie's saying to Ched, aren't air fryers meant to make cooking faster? So I missed that. Ched's saying, so I'm late, dinner was delayed due to the air fryer. I guess it's trying to get to grips with the new instructions and how they work, isn't it? Always keeps it interesting. Well, that makes sense of that. So yeah, I just wondered how everyone else goes around the tax bill. Do you sort of like base it on the year before you're done? Work out how much a month would have covered that, and then just account to add a bit more on in the hope that you're going to have a better year? Or do some of you track it as well, or your accountant tells you you need to spend a bit or buy a new kit to try and reduce your tax bill, that sort of thing? I know some people do it that way, but yeah, you got to track everything. I'm making a spreadsheet. I've got to go back a few months to try and get to today, and that's what I'm going to try and do. So by April next year, I know I've got a system in place where basically I'm going to track everything, but it's more for me to see where the money is going. I mean, you can't help it when you have things go wrong, like with your van. That's quite a big thing to cover, isn't it? But at the end of the day, I got over that. Didn't cook as fast as it said. Had to keep adding 5 more minutes. Yeah, it'd throw me, mate. Hi, Mills Cleaning. You all right, mate? So yeah, it's been a funny old week, isn't it? How's everyone else's week been? You managed to get through it all? Keep going? I know people in different areas affected differently with weather. I know as well this time of year, like I said, after Christmas, you do get a few skips, which is understandable. It's funny, isn't it? Because before Christmas, everyone's hoping you're going to clean their windows because they want it all nice. And then after Christmas, they're not so bothered, coupled with the bad weather. But that's life, isn't it? At least the work is still there, isn't it, for next month? It's just getting through what's in front of you, really. And that's as far as we need to look. Wilker saying, annoys me having to give 20% to the church. That's probably why I got so much wine in it for the communion. And it is hard trying to juggle all these different things when you're by yourself. But I suppose we learn all along the way and as we go. Ched saying, lost Monday, then started 11 a.m. Tuesday due to ice, but managed to get through it all. Don't think we had bad weather. Some had it much worse. Yeah, like I said, where we are, we always tend to dodge it compared to, on the whole, through the year anyway, most of the other parts of the country. But I couldn't work Monday and Tuesday. And like I said, Wednesday, Thursday ended up being half days. But in a way, it's a nice way to ease back in after the Christmas. I'm so glad that I worked over Christmas, to be honest. Imagine if I took a break off over Christmas and then you had this problem with the weather as well. Hi, Ro, mate. You all right? It's tough. We need to work like a squirrel. Yeah, storing up in the summer, and it is too easy to spend it. I think as well, when you sort of like have built up some money, you kind of treat yourself. I don't mean like spoil yourself, but some of the things you'd normally hold back on. There's always kit you need to buy, a new brush, new something, or a backlog of spares. Build them up on your consumables so they're there on your shelf and you're not relying on it to come through the post. There's always something you've got to spend. Plus, like I said, you're always getting the problems that go on that you've got to get over. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, isn't there, just to get you out your front door into your van to start a day's work, let alone what you do when you get home after a day's work with all your invoicing, bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff, and arranging the following day's work. And then when you're working, well, you can't do anything. You're just working, aren't you? It's a lot. It's more than what people realise, and it's more than what I thought when I started as well. And then it's the tax, like I said, is the problem. Just saying, was it me or did everyone else have arm and shoulder ache after the week back? I wasn't too bad, to be honest, mate. Although I must admit, Saturday, I'd come off a ladder and my hip sort of felt funny. It wasn't bone, it was more muscular. And I was like, ooh, showing me age. Ched's also saying, treated myself to a 22-foot extreme pole for Christmas. Nice one. You'll love that. Like I say, I use a Nano and I absolutely love that pole. Have you got it yet then, Ched, have you? Because hopefully that'll make a difference. Nice and light. And it's all an expense as well to go off your tax bill, isn't it? So it's all good in the long run. But yeah, like I said, it's really hard how to work out, or I find for me anyway, how much to put aside for tax. I just go off from the previous year, work out, like I said, how much a month would have covered that, and then think I'll add a little bit on more on, in the hope that I'm going to have a better year. And it'd be nice to actually have some money in your bank account that runs the business to dip into if you need to as well. But like I said, these things go wrong. I must have just kissed it really and caused chaos, because I turned around and said to my wife literally 2 weeks or 3 weeks before my van went tits up that this would be the first year I've managed to pay £600 per month into my tax savings account and not had to dip into it. And then all that went off and I've wiped it out, but I needed to, otherwise I wouldn't have been going. Rowan's just saying, you've got 3 lads in one van. Do you think it scales well? Have you got any plans to go multivan? Not really. I have talked about getting another van, but I think before I do that, I've got to go to a lot of housekeeping. I've got to go over this problem of covering the tax bill. I'm probably going to have to put some of it on a credit card. Then I'm going to have to pay that off, as well as the problems that are going to come up month to month. And we're relying on the weather to be able to get the work done as well, aren't we? And then save for a van. I would like to get Matthew in a van on his own eventually, that's for sure. I don't think it would make us much more money. It's more of a way of getting a better work-life balance for home. It'd be nicer to finish at a better time and be at home more, rather than finish until I finish the last job, and then by the time you get home it's 5 or gone 5, to be honest. Definitely in the summer, because you slow down in the summer, don't you? You get your talkers and the windows a bit harder to clean because you've got the baked on bird poo, bugs, pollen, all that sort of stuff, whereas winter I find it easier to clean. Everything's a bit quicker to clean because you haven't got all those things that normally slow you down in the summer. The talkers stay inside because it's warmer, and plus with the wet weather the windows tend to keep cleaner for longer, so it's easier to clean. That's kind of what I find as well. But yeah, going back to multivans, I'm not sure. I would just like to get Matthew in a van on his own, really, so he's kind of on his own 2 feet, because I'm 50 at some point. I'm going to be too old, aren't I? And it's going to fall on Matthew. And I've got my other son. My daughter used to work for me as a 3. She's moved up to Scotland, so she's got a life and a job up there now. So it went down to me and Matthew. I'm just using my other son, David, volunteering his time, so I'm volunteering some money for him for it, to help me get through my work because of the shorter daylight. As the daylight gets along more, what'll happen is it'll just go back to me and Matthew. And I think for someone like me, it's going to be really hard to scale up and get all these multivans. It's just more trouble, I think. It's hard with one van, so it's got to be harder with more, isn't it? It's not easy. But I'm not discounting it. And plus, I think I'm probably better off hovering just below being VAT registered rather than going over it, because I know a lot of people say this, and so I'm taking it off other people. I haven't sat there and worked it out, saying if you're going to hit the 90,000 where you need to be VAT registered, you're going to be worse off than just hovering below it until you break about 120,000. And then as you go up, you've broken through that barrier and you're going to be better off. It's how long do you have to be like that for to break that? You know what I mean? Who knows? But if I did get on another van for Matthew, it's going to be a bit of extra fuel, the running costs. Got to take that, so I'm going to need more customers anyway. So probably go, if I did went 2 vans, I would just keep my rounds as they are, and Matthew starts one end, I start the other, because I'm over close to supporting basically, and we work to each other and hopefully get home quicker. And then as I see how it pans out, and I've probably got to give him about 6 months, I suppose, for him to adjust to all that, to see what we are capable of a team doing, and then take on more customers to cover that cost, till find the point where it's about the same, but we've got a better work-life balance. That's, if I was to go for 2 vans, that's what I'd do it for. Ched's just saying, did last week with it lighter seem to scrub easier as well? Pressure goes into the brush, not the... Oh, that's with the new pole, is it, Ched? Yeah, lighter. Yeah, so it's less, it's more rigid, the pole. I see what you're saying. So there's more pressure on the brush onto the glass. Yeah, and that's what I found with me Nano. They do, because it's high modulus, they still have flex in there because they have to, but it is a slightly more rigid. So yeah, I find that as well, mate. And you'll love it. TJ's just saying Monday, Tuesday, -4, so I was off the Friday because of the storm that had it in New and Leicester. Hoping for a full 5 days this week. Yeah, I think we all are. But they keep talking about more storms coming in and all that lot, but I think it's going to be workable. Fingers crossed. It needs to be for me. Marcus saying Tuesday was -3 degrees. Oh no, your pump filter cracked overnight, broke off and emptied the contents of your tank in the back of the van. Oh no, don't tell me that froze as well. Had to go trad for the round, icy ground, put a towel under the ladders. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine the cursing you're doing there, mate, and then probably considering not to go out at all. So fair dues for cracking on and getting it done trad as well. At least you got through that problem. And like you say, you're probably now waiting for a new... Well, you've got it now, but it's a few days, isn't it, for the new pump to arrive. Jesus Christ, mate. Well done for cracking on though and getting it done. It's like I've always said, it's the bank balance is your motivator, isn't it? Whether to go out and work in these conditions or not. If you have to, you've got to. There's no two ways about it. And then he's just asking me close to the VAT threshold. According to Squeegee, from today, last 12 months, I was at 81,000. So I was hovering around 85,000 to be honest. But because I've lost work and stuff, that figure's dropped a bit. And then obviously doing the price increase in April, that's going to probably add a few grand on there. So it's probably going to put me up to around the 85,000, I think. But all it needs is the rest of the year to suddenly be really good weather-wise and you get the good amount of work in, then you could push through it, couldn't you? So I wouldn't say I'm completely close to it, but I'd say I'm getting there. And when you do the price rise, you're probably going to lose a few customers as well. Anyway, I'm going to go 3% rounded up to the nearest pound as an overall general price increase. That's what I'm going to do in April. So I'm going to send the messages out February to all my customers, tell them next clean in April will be this much, and then see what happens. Wilker saying didn't think you could pay tax on a credit card. I flaming hope so. If not, I know I can transfer money from me credit card to my bank account and then put the money across. That's my thinking anyway. I think at the end of the day, don't you just need, oh mind you, is it account number and sort code? It's something I'm going to have to look into in the evenings. Onto that one to plan ahead. Like I said, the 20th of Jan's going to be my cut-off point to pay whatever I've got off. And then see what's left over and what I can come up with. Yeah, that is true. Don't forget I'll pay tax, save on tax. That'll be next year's. The tax bill I had last year was very low, and it was that low that I didn't have to pay tax on account. Whereas this year, because you go over 1,000, don't you? You have to pay tax plus tax on account for, is it July? And for me, the way we're set up, because obviously I was self-employed, then my wife come on as self-employed. But then because of COVID, you can go out working. So Matthew came out with me, then he's become self-employed. And then when I had Sophie, she was self-employed. So we're a self-employed partnership. The figure seemed weird when we got them from the accountant. So my wife rang up because I was working. Because to further complicate things, I receive a military pension. So I'm getting about £9,000 a year from the military. And obviously you got the 12,500 tax free. So how the accountant's got it is, like me, is a 10% of the money profits, I suppose. And then it's 30 with my daughter, my wife and my son, although Sophie's not working for me anymore. So then next year, I suppose my tax bill's going to go up because we lose her £12,500 tax-free thing. So that's something I've got to account for as well. But it's the way the accountant does it to make us as a whole paying the less tax possible. It's complicated. James saying, I feel like I've been treading water with the business the last few months. New van was a setback. Yeah, I'm with you on that, mate. And the weather so far has hindered me. I've ended up paying the tax bill on a 0% card. I think I remember you saying on one of the comments. Yeah. At the end of the day, mate, it's like me. You've got to do what we've got to do to keep, like you say, treading water. But to be honest, there's been a few times where I thought I'm going to get wiped out. Like in my first year, my van engine had to get a rebuild. That set me back a couple of grand. I didn't have that. And didn't have loads of customers neither. So it was easy to catch up on stuff. But then, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 years ago. I have no idea time. Everything's a blur in it. I had to do a reconditioned engine in my old van. And then this year, my van went kaput. So these things happen. They wipe you out, and I think most people would give up, but a better person, such as yourself, James, you just kind of think bollocks to it, head down. Don't know how I'm going to get through this, but you do. It's just sheer grit and determination, isn't it, sometimes, where others would give up and people like us don't, and that's why you're still here. Rowan saying, we went multivan, we found we saved quite a lot of time per day. It's surprising, but there is a cost involved, yeah. Like I was saying, if I did go multivan, it would just be 2 vans, one for me, one for Matthew. I could work with my other son, David, if he was going to come into it. And he's young. He's going to be 19 this year. He's not long left college because he had to resit his English C a few times. He could get an apprenticeship. He's got the qualifications to get an apprenticeship in electrics and plumbing, but he can't get one. So I've often joked, well, if you can't get a job, I can give you one if you're prepared to not get a lot of money, but as we build up, I'll just, like I did with Matthew, instead of me gaining, I'm throwing the money towards him because I'm not paying him enough, basically. But because we're all family, we all live in the same house, it's easier for me to do that, I suppose, and for them. And at some point, they might go their own way, you know what I mean? But that's what I'd be aiming it for, is to get Matthew self-sufficient. Because like I said, at some point, I'm going to be too old one day, and it's mainly for us to, as a family, to have a better work-life balance. Nellie's saying nothing's stopping Matthew setting up on his own, and both of you share the workload. Stop hitting it. Yeah, so he could become self-employed in his own right and start up his own company. I could give him some of my customers, you know what I mean? It's all going to go in the household at the end of the day, isn't it? It's interesting, actually. I was speaking to one of the customers who's a farmer, and I'll come on to it in a bit. I'll just catch up with other comments here. You all right, Matt? How are you, mate? He's saying he worked a full week. Don't know what all the worry was about. Yeah, and I did think one day, mate, you might not work because you're close to Devon and with them high winds. Ched's saying go 5%. Any you lose, is in the price rise, so 5% and round it up to the nearest pound on squeegee. I did play around with that, and I know some of my customers would jump up a £5 because they're like, say, £55 house. Well, I think it's £3. And I said to my wife, if you lost them, it's a lot of money to recoup in smaller cleans. So that's why I was thinking 3% plus a pound. Maybe I should go with the 5, because I know when you go chat GPT, it's saying 5%. Well, I think it said 1 to 3% is definitely a must, and 3 to 5% is the higher end. So that's why I thought I'd go for 3, so it's kind of in the middle. James saying you did a money transfer from your credit card. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of doing. If I had, well, I'm going to have to. Ched's saying, could you avoid the fat threshold by having the second hand running as it's your son's business? Yeah, that's what Nelly was saying. Yeah, that is something that had kind of crossed my mind. This is all things I need to sit down and take time out with my accountant really and saying, look, looking at these figures, what's the best way going forward? Jez saying as well, don't do 3%, go at least 5. I would do up a business model above the VAT threshold. I can't see how it would be worth it for me. Is it called the fiscal effect? That's basically what the government are trying to do, isn't it? Is they're increasing people's wages but keeping the VAT threshold where it is, so it's pushing more people up and up to eventually everyone crosses that VAT threshold, then the government are making more money. And it's becoming increasingly hard to make a living, I suppose, under the VAT threshold. Not for everybody, but as a whole. Marcus saying, my pal has 3 vans, 1 guy in a van, his wife is in the second van and himself in the third. The work is split between them under 2 separate companies, and both companies are underneath the VAT threshold. Yeah, clever. So, got you. That could be the way ahead then, really, isn't it? If I get to that point. I suppose at the end of the day, what you need is a goal to aim for, and it doesn't matter if you fall short, if you get what I mean. You're just not still where you are, you're slightly ahead. I wonder if it's good to split down the year, you know what I mean? So you do the VAT, then you got the price increase. And then after the price increase, looking at maybe do you need to get more customers or not, that sort of thing. Yeah, Ched saying fiscal drag, pulling everyone into paying more tax. And then, like you say, how many people are going into that tax bracket where they're paying 40% bloody tax as well? That's why some of my customers, or I'll go to the farmer speaking to in a minute, who run businesses, saying it's really hard to find employees because they'll say that I'm only after 16 hours a week, so if I do any more than that, I lose these sort of benefits or whatever. And I know people might moan about it, but at the end of the day, if you're in their shoes, why? So I can see where they're coming from. So it's kind of having a negative effect in one way. But yeah, going back to someone I was speaking to on Saturday, he's a farmer. But on his farm, they didn't do farming because he's now retired full time, and so he had 3 separate companies running from his farm. And he had an old Land Rover, which was his pride and joy, and was much better than a modern day Range Rover because it's more basic, so you don't have all the problems with the modern day ones. He would like to have kept it, so it's because it was underneath one of his companies. He's on about buying it for a low bit of money, but he's saying the accountants or whatever said you can't do that anymore. They're pretty hot on it. So he had to sell it as part of the company, so he auctioned it off. I'm sure he said it was 14 years old. It looked old than that, to be honest, but it had a lot of work to get it through its last MOT, so it was kind of good in a way that he'd auctioned it off, but I know it meant a lot to him as well. But it just seemed weird that the company owed it. Over the last 20 years, minimum wage has increased on average by 5%, so that's why I want to put the prices up by 5%, got you. Don't want to fall behind. Fiscal drag is what you're talking about, yeah. I'll have to play around on Squeezy because of I can do my price increase and then see how much it's putting the prices up on certain customers, if that makes sense. Play around with it. Sometimes I think it's just bloody go for it, innit? Got to do something. I think like if you're treading water, you're doing well. It's when you're not treading water. It gets harder to tread water there every year, doesn't it? So you want to get above it. But everyone's different. Everyone's circumstances are different than that, aren't they? Yet we're all doing the same thing, window cleaning. It's hard, isn't it? It's not easy. Like I said, all you want, it's like now, all I want to do tomorrow is jump in the van and get out. And sometimes it's an effort just to get out because you get the last minute replies to your messages and you're like, flipping out. Or something's gone wrong and you leave late. But that's all part of the buzz, isn't it? And the running around trying to get your work done and get home as soon as you can. So it's definitely not too late. And top it all off as well, Saturday,
I've got the Sky Cam. It's not the one where it can record. It's the one that's about 300 and I can't remember exactly how much it is. It 360 quid, the blue one. It wouldn't charge, so the charging port is buggered. I've now got to get that flipping fixed. That's what I said to my wife. Why are these things when you've hardly got any money? You've got the tax bill. Now kit's going wrong as well. My workaround though is going to be my action camera and using my phone as the monitor. So we still got round it that way. All in the joys of a window cleaner's life, innit? Keeps life interesting. Driving along and saying, right, what's gone? Is it a cable? Is it this? Is it that? And get to the next job. So I nipped home. Luckily, it's close to my home, that job. Got my action camera wanged out and all was good. Ted's saying the only danger is plus 5% is getting close to the VAT. Yeah. So again, I suppose when you do these simulations, like with squeegees, you can see its effects. You can work out, I suppose, and see what that's going to have the effect on. Well, I suppose the other thing is just monitor what you're doing through the year. And then when it gets close to breaking it, just don't work for, or, you know what I mean, turn down some jobs to stop you going over. You've got to keep your finger on the pulse, haven't you, at all times, really. So many different things. Because like Dan Smitherton, didn't he say on the Uncleanables podcast, or made a point of it, that to get DVAT registered, you have to stay VAT registered for another 12 months. So you've got that problem as well. So if you're under that, plus you're paying 20%, that's a big hard hit. We'll see. It goes how it goes. There's only so much you can do in a day, isn't there? The only way of making more money is putting your prices up and find out ways to make yourself more efficient, or both. But yes, certainly pressure's on this month to get my work done. I did make a little bit of profit last month, but it wasn't as much as what was forecast, because obviously I didn't get all my work done because we had Christmas. But mind you, I only stopped for Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but we had a few days in between where I lost work because I had other issues with kit. And they just sort of like knock you back, don't they? I said to my wife, if we have a really good month in December, it gives me a bit of breathing room for January, because I know the weather's rubbish. And we didn't quite hit what I was top whack hoping for, which I knew wouldn't happen anyway. And then on top of it, I've had the weather. But such is life. Yeah, flat rate is 12%, Ched. So like say you charge 20%, and basically you're making 8% more money because 12% is going to the tax man. There are implications. I think if you're going full VAT rate, you can claim all tax back on things, can't you? And if you go in flat rate, I think there's limits to what you can claim back on tax. If it's over a certain amount of payout for something like buying a new van, for example, you can. If it's under a certain amount, you can't. But then I think in the long run as a window cleaner that you're better off on the flat rate, because once you've got your kit, you don't need to keep buying that kit, do you? Again, that's a conversation I'd have near the time with the accountant. He knows what's going on. Marcus saying sole trader is going to have to do 4 tax returns a year and a 5th final summary soon. And if your turnover is 50,000 or more, you go make tax digital, which is their new software, which is crazy. I've seen lots of the things on social media about this. I think last year there was talk about it as well. But you kind of like think they say these things and it sort of like goes on for another year, doesn't it? Ted's saying you can claim VAT back on capital purchase. So if it's over £2,000, we've got you. So things like the van will be safe for that. Yeah. Yeah, this one is interesting because like you see a lot of clips coming up on social media where they're trying to make points that there's only so many bookkeepers or accountants. And if everyone's going to go tax digital, like say over 50 grand turnover, then you're going to have to do, I think it's like basically 4 mini tax returns, isn't it? And then you do your normal tax return as well. So they're saying people like us are going to have to do these ourselves because that's too much work for the accountants to do, or it's more money for you to pay for anyway. But I know as well some of these are scare tactics for you to fall into. The reason why they're putting them on social media is because they're selling you a product or a service, aren't they? But it should, yeah.
it's something we're going to have to learn to do or learn to live with and get round somehow, isn't it? There's always something in there. Nellie's just saying, if you go flat rate, you can only claim the VAT back on purchases over 2k. Which, to be fair, I think on the whole, for someone like myself, that would be fine anyway, wouldn't it? Because most of my purchases are way under that. And like a brush lasts quite a few months and stuff, you know what I mean? So, and you're making 8% extra because you're doing the 12% and charging 20%, if that makes sense. Chase is saying, could your son get a van then rent some work from you to reduce the turnover? Lots of possibilities. I think accountant might have good ideas. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm going to have to sit down with the accountant when it comes to that bridge and actually ask him for advice. They definitely know more than me. And there's probably many ways, isn't there, to skin that one. GL Sam, over the 50k, I still haven't got a system in place for MTD, but I will have looked at it. I'll get a basic package from QuickBooks. Yeah, I use Xero. I suppose they're all similar. I just went Xero from day one. And I use that for the bookkeeping because me accountant, they use Xero as well. So he can log into my Xero account to get access to what he needs when they do all the tax returns and stuff. Yeah, Marcus, just what you're saying before, yeah, according to your accountant. I'm sure there's going to be a rollout date where all this becomes official, and we'll probably get messages from your own personal accountant about it as well. And you can imagine what a headache it must be for them to try and adopt all this as well. Yeah, to be honest, doing 3 monthly tax returns is good practice anyway. That is one thing I thought, will the accountant charge you more, or... So I'm sure the way if I charge too much, people are going to go elsewhere, so it's no different to us charging too much of Windows. People will go elsewhere, if you get what I mean. But then it must mean the final tax return's easier to do because, like Nellie's saying, you're doing it quarterly as you go along. Joe's saying, I think the rules have changed for the flat rate scheme. Look into rules around low-cost traders. The flat rate is 16.5%, but it works out the same. Wow, so much, isn't there? It's like a minefield. Mills Queensland got a £50 referral code for a metal account, which come free with free agent free if anyone's wanting it. There you go. Sure, someone will take his up on it. So he's having a whiskey. Spoke to me dad earlier on the phone. He's having a whiskey, and I said I'm going to have one as well. Did my usual thing Sunday. I've changed my resin today. I've cleaned the van in and out. The poles have all been cleaned and re-lubed up. Gutter vac's been cleared out, so that's all ready to go again. And I used the gutter vac as well to suck up all the water in the back of my van after I jet washed that out, because we had the generator getting wheeled in and out of the van. It got quite muddy. Rather than letting it sort of like dry off slowly in all this rubbish weather. So the gutter vac will come to the rescue there. Matt's just saying MTD digital is only for sole traders over 50k. Partnerships don't apply for a few years. All right, so I might be safe because, like I say, we're a sole trader partnership. There was 4 of us, now there's 3. So my wife, Matthew, and me as of February last year. Yeah, my dad's not too bad. Cheers, Marcus. He's not going to get any better than what he is. He's, I think age is catching up. He's had diabetes for like 53 years on his own as well. What's he got? He's got prostate cancer that came out the time that I said before he's in hospital. but he's in hospital for other things, and he'd been seeing the doctors before then, so they told him that news. And he's got asbestos on the lungs, as well as he's already knew he had CPD. Is it CPT? COPD? Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. So bless him, he's got all these things going against him. But he chatted, he seemed positive on the phone anyway, we're chatting away like. That's what he said, when you get off the phone, I'm having a whiskey. So I said, Dad, I'll have a whiskey as well. But yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? So it just goes to show, basically, live your life now. You never know what's around the corner. And that's what my dad was asking me. He's been thinking this week with the weather, and I told him, you know, got some stuff done, but not what I needed to. But that's life. Just get on with it. That's basically what gets us through this, isn't it? It's just sheer grit and determination. I mean, sometimes, like you've said, when you get your van problems and things like that, it's so easy to give up, isn't it? But because it's easy, we don't do it. We like to do the hard version, which is keep going. But if you had given up, you wouldn't be where you are. And sometimes these points where it's just grit and determination and a bit of a gamble as to, I don't know, I'm going to get through this month, but by the end of the month you do. That's when you look back and feel, I'm glad I did that, because then a few months later you might have good times. So capitalise on the good times. Don't go spending money unnecessarily. I mean, I've got to go and buy new pre-filters. I'm a bit low on resin now. But I've said to my wife, what's going on with the tax bill? I can't go and buy that. But all I'm doing is putting off, I'll be buying it later, but I'll just do it at some point. I'm just going to get through this month and pay my tax bill. And then reassess what the hell I'm going to do going forward. Maybe pay a bit more off each month. It's a load of spinning plates, isn't it? Like I said, it's what's in the bank at the end of the day that counts. So I'll sit down with my wife again and sort of like to say, maybe we should go 5% and round it up to nearest pound and squeezy for the price increase and just be done. What happens, happens. Matt's saying if you use less water, your pre-filters and resin would last longer. Yeah, Matt, that's true. Mind you, my resin lasted me 6 months, so for me that's good. And it just shows you I changed my pre-filters 6 months ago. That's what I said to my wife. I'm supposed to change them every 3 to 4 months. I need to set up my calendar reminders again on that one. I've just ordered some as well for a different company I found, but they're £1 cheaper on Asmin. How much whiskey have I had? Amazon. So for paper and carbon 20-inch filter, it was £16.99. And whereas where I normally go, that would have cost me over 30 quid. Well, I can't remember if it's just under 30 quid or just over 30 quid. So I've took a punt. I'm going to have a look at them, inspect them before I fit them in. And if they're just as good, that's where I'll start going for them. I haven't looked at their resin. Maybe I should have done that, shouldn't I? And I think they did a pack where you do 3 paper, 3 carbon for 34 quid. So I'll see how these 1 paper, 1 carbon go. And if they're much cop, I may then go and buy that pack of 3 paper, 3 carbon as well. But I'm sure things are changing the better weather gets here. Now keep an eye out. Like I said, someone's offered me a van which they're going to sell anyway, but they just thought it, because I mentioned it before, and I'm interested in that. Like I said, just over 4,250 I think it was. 650 litre tank, reels, and a hot water system in there as well. So that would be brilliant. Because I was on about a backup van instead of hiring a van when things go tits up. But I'm hoping with my new van, being 3 years old, I ain't going to have that. But you never know, do you? So I'll probably, if I got that, I would put Matthew in it. I mean, I've even considered, these are things that have been going through my head, lots of things have while I'm working because of this tax and that, is hiring a van, which is normally 50 quid a day. I'm sure it might be a little bit, wouldn't be a lot less for a smaller van. And just say to Matthew and my other son David, saying, you two get in there with the barrels and the 2 trolleys and have a go working out a van together to see how it goes. And then I'm in my van and see if we could take on a bit of extra work each day to try and make more money. But I think there's only so much you can do. I don't think that would work because Matthew's got to get used to driving in a van for a start, so I'll be expecting too much from him, you know what I mean? But these things go through my mind. Mark is just saying, yeah, life is short. One of the guys on the Joshua crash who died, you knew him personally. Oh shit, mate, sorry about that. I haven't really read too much into that because I don't, when you see things on social media or the news, I take everything with a pinch of salt because you're so used to like fake news. And after Joshua's fight with that YouTuber guy, I just thought, at first when I saw it, that was just fake news. But obviously the more it's being reported, the more I knew there's going to be some form of truth in there. But I don't actually know what went on or the ins and outs of it, mate. I just take it all with a pinch of salt. Like I say, I wasn't there, but sorry you knew the guy. Yeah, it just goes to show nothing's guaranteed, is it? Mills Clean just saying, I've just ordered a new 4040 membrane and the resin, as it's all seemed to go at once. Had to get some water from a local window cleaner to keep me going to get a booster pump too, as it's coming. Jesus Christ, mate, that's a big hit, isn't it? Membranes, what, over 200 quid with VAT and delivery as well. And like say the resin on there, so you're pushing over 300 quid, and then the booster pump as well on top of that. Jesus Christ, mate. Again though, these things, when they go wrong, even though it feels sometimes you've worked for nothing, well, the money you had worked has covered that, if that makes sense, rather than it you owing money. So sometimes I look at these things and think, well, I covered that one somehow, and then you just get over it, don't we? At least you know you'll be good to go for a while, mate. I know it's happened to me. I've had to get 2 membranes, not all in one go. But yeah, I know. Booster pump would be good. I've got a booster pump anyway because my water pressure comes out of my house at, it's just below 25 psi most of the time. It's no higher than 25, put it that way. So I always have to have a booster pump. All right, so it's coming out 15 parts per million. Apparently with a booster pump I can get it down to 3 parts per million before the resin. Wow, that'd be good. I think my water comes out on average around 260 parts per million, and after RO I've seen it between 5 and 8. Then it goes into my resin, which is why my resins last me 6 months. Oh, nice one, 120 quid off eBay. Booster pump 65 quid, that's a bargain, mate. And resin 150 quid, is that what it is now for an Unger one? Bloody hell. Yes, mate, I've got a shut-off unit on my booster pump. When I got all my kit from X-Line, I got the RO system from X-Line as well, and it's a static and it's all automated. So it come with, I brought on top of that the booster pump, but it's automated booster pump on and off when it detects it needs to use it if the water pressure from the house isn't good. And then same with the like float switch, it turns the water off when it sees my IBC tanks full, if that makes sense. So yeah, it come with it. I got it all from X-Line, mate. I think is it a solenoid or something like that? So you could probably buy these bits individually, but me being me wouldn't have a clue. That's why I just got X-Line to do the whole thing in one go. And it's been going nearly 9 years, 8-9 years now. So yeah, that's where I got it from, me. So your local window cleaner gets you 3 parts per million, and it doesn't even need resin. Wow. Just imagine if he had his resin, it's only going to polish it from 3 parts per million down to 0. So his resin would probably last a year and he'll have 0 parts per million. But then I suppose things will last longer. I don't know. But yeah, wow. So obviously being local to you, mate, you probably, like you said, you're going to have the 3 parts per million, right? So yeah, you're going to have the same thing. I'm trying to think where I saw someone talking about, was it Darren from DA Components and one of his little videos? I don't know if it was a short or a horizontal video. It wasn't on for long. It might be a horizontal video showing you a solenoid. So he probably sells them as well, mate. And obviously there'll be instructions on how to wire all that up. So it could be worth getting in touch with Darren from DA Components there, mate. So you're saying you got a solenoid for the system at the minute which switches the water on and off. You just need something to turn off the pump. Okay, yeah, so you got the water where it turns on and off when it's full or the water level drops to fill it up. You just need one for the booster pump. And I'm sure that's what Darren was on about from DA Components on one of his video clips, mate. So I'm sure he mentioned it's for a booster pump. You know, Blade Right did a shut-off unit, but they don't seem to be operating anymore. I think you find most suppliers, mate, will. I'll have a look. Now, let's look at DA Components and X-Line. Sorry, Nellie's just coming up. Oh. DA Components sell bits, also great advice. And DA Components do an open day in March. Could be a bit of a gathering there. Sorry, I'll just have a look on the X-Line some website for something, then DA Components. God, where am I looking? Put booster as a search and see what it narrows down to. Sorry, I'm just searching for stuff. So I just come to comment again. I would like to be able to go to the expo, but after this month, I don't know how many months it's going to knock me back of having to constantly work to build up the pot till I feel safe again. But I definitely, again, life short on it. I suppose sometimes say bugger it, go. I know on one of my groups I'm in on Facebook of the unit I used to be in, they do a football match every 2 years, and I think it's 75th anniversary of the squadron I was on. So they're on about doing a Friday and Saturday job. Friday's going to be like a meal and all that kind of stuff, and obviously a piss up. And then the Saturday's the football. So I said I'd like to go to both. Now this is coming at me. But I haven't made it to any reunions since I got out of the mob. And some of these people I wouldn't have seen for between 20 and 30 years. So I want to be able to go to that. But yeah, I'd like to go to the expo as well. I think I'm just looking at the same one, mate. So you're going on Friday. Is it this one, Mills Cleaning, mate? But it looks like it's the whole thing. So I'm not sure if you can find... Might need something individually. So with tax, that's £478.80p, but it's a V16 mains booster pump and controller. So it's got like a lot of stuff there. You can see they've got the white box. That's like what I've got on my unit. And this bit in the plug there, so you can plug in your booster pump. and then they're the solenoids that I was on about. And if you go on to X line, so it's 478, they've got different ones here, like a V16 auto flush DI saver. I'm not sure out of here what one you would want. That says booster pump. This says booster pump. This one's a V16 240 volt auto fill and flush booster pump controller. It says no flush box. I don't know what the hell that is. So yeah, that's 400 quid. But this is what I've got. There's a big box like that with a controller on, but inside here it's got the booster pump automatic switch on and off, and also for the auto fill turn on and off bit as well. It's all inside there, and it's a V11 controller because mine's old. So they look pretty similar, don't they? Then V16 auto shut off, stops the water once your tank's full, and turns off the booster pump off and stops the waste of water. Hopefully that was of some help. Are you saying, yeah, that's the one? Yeah, I'll speak to them and go and have a chat. I'm just wondering if they might get you, it's just me thinking the way I think, like Darren might be able to get you that box unit with a solenoid for the booster pump, if that makes sense, but because you've got the solenoid for the auto fill, he might do something there, so it'll take a bit of money off, or fit it for you even. I don't know. Are you local to him, are you? Which would be really handy, because he'd probably come round and do something for you. This whiskey, by the way, is one of the ones I got as for Christmas off one of my customers. Through the year, gives me the odd bottle of whiskey as well. I think I said it on one of my lines. Look, 64 quid a bloody bottle. So no wonder why it's nice. I think he'd be glad now, and I'm having a couple just before going to work and that, and chilling out. Ooh, I'm losing buttons here. I reckon I've got every component to that bar the plug socket. Might ask your electrician. Yeah, no, it's a good shout, mate. Like I say, I wouldn't have a bloody clue how to wire up myself. I just got everything from X-Line day one. So less than 2 hours away from here. Yeah, so you got that call as well, haven't you? It just depends how quick you want it done, doesn't it, really? So apart from me, was it James who've had problems paying the tax? So I've just got to look back in the comments. Was it James had a problem with his van? Or Marcus? I can't remember. Yeah, James. So is there anyone else who's in the same gang as me and James comment paying the tax bill? Like I said, and everyone said, I'm going to get over it anyway. It's like, how many things have you got through in your window cleaning, or just in life in general anyway? Cheers, James, mate. Have hit these problems. But because you've got that grit and determination, put your head down, and just sometimes being stubborn does get you somewhere, doesn't it? And is anyone else planning on going to the expo? You're getting tons of adverts, are you, Nelly? I'm not sure if I can turn them off during there. I could probably turn them off going forward, if that makes sense. How annoying is that? Because I had thought of, like I said, last time I went to the expo, it was really nice, but it was when I met Nelly, obviously Matt, Marcus and Robbie. And the best bit is when we just sat in the cafe and had a cup of tea together, or coffee, and just kept chatting. And we're saying like maybe this year if we went down, because it's a 2-day thing, go down for the first day, all stop somewhere and have a few beers and then just have a little walk around maybe on the second day again. So is anyone up for that? We could try and organise it. We'll just meet up. Oh no. Fingers crossed for you, mate. Hopefully it's good news compared to what you're expecting it to be. I really hope so, mate. That's what I had last year, so I'm paying for it this year. Yeah, I can turn them off, Nelly, mate. I don't want it to be annoying. I've just got it left on the recommended setting. I'm just surprised it's done that many. I don't get paid a lot of money through this anyway. Spend a lot of money being able to do it. But it brings me joy anyway. It's what I like doing. And it is great to talk about window cleaning, meeting other people. Like I said, really enjoyed myself at the expo when I met Nelly and Marcus, Matt and Robbie. All I see is like pictures coming up in the comments here. YouTube Premium, yeah. I've forgotten how much YouTube Premium is. I think I pay the family deal where, is it £20.99 a month? And then you can have up to 5 of you as family members. So all my kids, we've split whatever it is, $20.99 between 4 of us, because 4 of us have opted in for it, and then everything's like ad free. Is that the YouTube Premium, mate? Cheers, Nelly. £7.99 student account. Matt saying you get your accountant to do your tax return the end of April so you know what you have to pay. So you put 16% aside. And if it's a big no-no to touch it, oh yeah, and don't touch it until the bill's paid. Like I say, I was putting £600 a month. So I think it worked out £7,200 in a year. But I've been doing that for about 4 years, but this would have been the first year if my van hadn't gone tits up that I'd have been able to have paid the full amount in by the end of the year, because I haven't had to dip into it with the intentions of topping it back up. But it doesn't always work out like that. So yeah, like Matt's saying, big no-no to not touch it, but I had to. Otherwise I wouldn't be window cleaning, or I would be, but I'd just be doing it still out of my van with trolleys and barrels of water. I just wanted my system in as soon as possible, which I'm glad I've done. Just loads of things have gone wrong. I said a few weeks ago I had a controller for my electric reel go wrong, and it was over 20 quid. That's without VAT and post and packaging from where I would have got it from, my supplier. So I looked on Amazon and got one delivered, £10.99p, and it's exactly the same thing, slightly different inside, but the layout's the same, the way it all wires up, and the button said up and down rather than 2 arrows. And it's been working absolutely fine. I've forgotten there's something. Oh, and that's the other thing I need to do is, I was shocked with the price of these. Let's see if I can find one for you. It's the Draper 360 watt 25 meter extension reel. So what Mark is saying, I was always told put 10% of everything you earn for it, but that's assuming nothing ever goes wrong. Yeah, like I said, I was told put 20 or 25%, or I've heard figures say 15. But when I first started, if I'd done that, I wouldn't even be able to pay myself. So I kind of wagged it as I've gone on. But yeah, these. I've got an old battered one. The black sheath, the cable's exposed in about 4 places, showing the wires underneath, which are still sheathed. So I've had to go and buy a new one of these as well with everything's going on. In fact, this is the one I brought. You've got to be careful because you've got to look at this. When it's unwound, it's rated up for 3,600 watts. You can get some that look exactly the same, but they're 3,120 watts. And because I've got the Skyvac Industrial 85, that's 3,600 watts. So that's the one I had to go for. And as you can see, it's £75 with VAT, 61p. But with delivery, it pushed it up to 82 quid. But some places were going as much as 120 quid, and that was without the post and packaging. So I had to shop around for a new one of them. So I've brought another one of them as well for me gutter vac, because you've got to be safe at the end of the day. Nelly's saying as well, yeah, good chartered accountants worth their weight in gold. And that's what I've been told. I believe it's what I've heard or picked up from other people anyways, with an accountant, the bill they send you will probably be the amount of money they've saved you in tax by going to make you the most tax efficient way of paying your tax bill, basically. At least. So they could have even saved you more. I haven't got his bill yet. Normally it's 30 days, so I think they're holding off a little bit for me to give me 30 days to pay that as well. But I'm sure I'll get there. The weather will come good and we'll just be banging out the work non-stop. And I'll be cracking the whip, saying to Matthew, keep going. Head down, keep going. But how does everyone else, it's just what I thought, out of interest, go around paying tax? Do you sort of like at the end of the month, do you go right down to the deep of the weeds by working out how much is tax-free, take that out, what you're left, do you do a certain percentage of that and say that needs to go into my tax fund? And then obviously what you're left by the time you paid anyone, are you know what I mean? How do you, it's hard, isn't it? How to work out how to do it, or to work out everything. I mean, I'm sure a well-established business will have everything markup, and then they know what percentage for each thing they add up onto it to take into account of the prices of other people's suppliers putting their percentage on there. So there must be a formula where they just chuck in a figure at one end, it chucks out a figure at the other, and that's how they know how to put the prices up by to keep their profit margin how it should be. There's got to be a way people do it. Would you wing it like me and just say, well, last year was this much, if I earn a bit more, then I need to add a bit extra on top of what I've been saving a month, and whack it through to one side? Jamie, you alright, mate? Hello, Rob. There's an awesome YouTube channel accountant called Michelle. Is it Michelle I said? Elms Helpful UK. She's awesome. Oh, I'll have a look at that, mate. There's one I follow. I can't remember. It's to do with Zero, so I normally follow them and how to try and do stuff. I wish I knew how to use the reports more on there. I'll just put Helpbox UK. Oh, I think that's the one there, isn't it, Jamie? Oh, Ched's just saying, sorry, power tripped. Looks like it's a pond causing it. Oh, no. There you go, everyone. There's a good shout out by Jamie. So, Helpbox UK. Make your assets invisible. They own you. Dividends, payroll. Right, I'm going to subscribe to that. Cheers, Jamie, and I'll have a look around on there. or get my wife to watch it while I'm working, because she's the boss at the end of the day, no matter what I think. Joe's saying an emergency fund could be a good shout. Take the 4k you would be spending on other spare band. Instead of getting a spare band, basically set it aside, call it a sick pay. Better than raiding the tax account. Yeah, I did have, for me personally, I like to have a certain amount of money in the bank. So at least a month's worth of money that's going to cover the running costs, the wages, basically. So if I didn't work for a whole month, I'd have enough money sat there to pay for it all. And that's what I would normally then call zero. And I'll try not to dip below that. But I had got wiped out of that with my van problems. Because obviously when my van went wrong, I had to hire a van. Couldn't work and get all my work done. So I was losing money that way as well. Plus I was having to pay for train tickets, travelling for this, taking days off to sort stuff out. And every day that passed me getting this van, because of the flipping finance company wouldn't accept certain things, I had to start the whole process again, just over the fact that I scanned a picture as opposed to took a picture of something, or a document rather, scanned a document rather than took a picture of it, like my driving license. They're just costing you money, and it just really wiped me out completely. And then when I got through that, I had to raid my tax fund to get my system out of my old van, which I did myself, but I had to pay for it to get put in my new van, because I didn't want to work for months off my trolley and my backpack barrels to get the work done, with the pressure of getting the work done, because everything's dark by 4. If it was during the summer, I'd have just took the hit, and that's what wiped that out. But I just took the gamble that I was going to have a good month, and then the weather hit. But yeah, so that's what I like to have, is 1 month's money to cover the running costs of my window cleaning, and I call that zero. Oh no, Marcus saying my favourite accountant died of me. Is about 95 years old, beat cancer twice. I did my tax returns on a Murder She Wrote typewriter. He wrote 3 books, and he was on Britain's Got Talent as a singer. Wow. He sounds like an awesome person to have on someone's podcast where he can just talk about his life. Like you see that guy saying, do you want to sit down and have a cup of tea with me and tell me about yourself? Cup of tea and a chat. Wow. How many of us can beat that? I can't sing it. And I probably can't type very well neither. Joe was saying last year was this much, but I also included 5% for supply increases. I get into the weeds of it. Major expenses you should have no problem forecasting. Yeah, I just tend to look through my bank, look at what comes out every single month, look at what I need in terms of wages and covering, well, put that on top of my expenses, and I know I need to earn, plus I want £1,000 profit every month, so I'm building that up in the bank, and that's what I try and set as a minimum amount of work for that month. So I normally smash that, but you always get these knockbacks, don't you, where you end up earning less. It's hard. Sometimes you do your nutting because you look into things too hard. But yeah, getting right into the weeds, working it out. So you've got to know all these things, haven't you, to work out your pricing, basically. It's just interesting. We've all got so many different ways of working out what we need to earn, if that makes sense. But there's so many variables. I mean, look at the price of your kit from different suppliers and how much that's gone up over the last year or even 2 years. And then it's not just that, it's just day-to-day shopping, isn't it? That's going up all the time. And fueled a lot. And you've got to cover it all, really. So you're saying you do the same, don't go below 10k and keep the tax money for vans, ICE funds separate, yeah. I mean, like I said last year, said to my wife, I was quite chuffed because I'd saved up my buffer after that had been wiped out before in the year, and I was getting things paid off, like some credit cards. I'd whittled them down, but this van thing has just wiped me out. But the only plus side to look at it is I've now got a van that's potentially not going to cause me these problems for a few years. I've just got to get over the hit from it. But anything can happen, can't it? It's just hard, isn't it? And then if you've got a really big business, it just goes to show how hard that must be. But people can do it. But it's hard just looking after yourself, isn't it? I mean, I was just thinking about this earlier. I worked in a pub when I was 18, 50 hours a week, £1 an hour, 50 quid I got, but it's all cash in hand. And I used to work 10 till, I think it was 2, go home and then come back at 7, work till 11. Obviously work beyond 11 because people leave and then you have a pint afterwards, go home. I remember one day when I went in at 10, I was given a squeegee and the kit to do traditional, and they said clean the pub windows. No one told me what to do, so I was just expected to know what to do and I had to work it out. Kind of enjoyed it. I remember while I was doing it, there's an old fella walking down the road from the shop, and he said, "Would you clean my windows?" And like a wally, I went and turned around, laughed and said, "Sorry mate, I'm not a window cleaner," which made him look confused. So I said, "I'm someone who works at the pub and they've just got me to clean the windows." Should have said yes, and I really. Because between my time of between 2 and 7, obviously I'm going to have my tea at some point, but I could have gone round cleaning some windows. If I'd have done that earlier, I think where I would have been now. James saying, I did a good shop yesterday. It made me realise I'm lucky my customers keep me on. I was in good shoppers in buying stuff or good shoppers in cleaning it, mate. Oh, food shop. Sorry, yeah, got you. Yeah, I count myself lucky. I know we have our problems, but probably like most of you here, you've got these customers and you've had them for a long time. It's not like with somewhere you see they're spending loads of money because they're trying to grow really quick. So they are after a particular customer. So customers use you for a bit and then leave for someone else because you're probably charging the higher end. But you know what I mean? When you, I suppose, cheaper, you don't have that problem. You've got a customer and they stick with you. It's a fine line, I think all of us walk, whether you're just like a window cleaner or some big massive business, is having it so your pricing's right so you can survive, but it's not too high so that it hurts you, and it's not too low that it hurts you, because every year that changes and we've got to keep pace with it. So you kind of bracket what's your lowest end, what's your highest end, and staying somewhere in the middle, even though everything's shifting along. It's not easy, is it? Did anyone watch that podcast with, I watched it today. I'll have to try and find it for you. Beyond the Blast with Darren and Sid. So Beyond the Blast, Darren and Sid. It was good. It was interesting. Yeah, this one here. It's a new podcast they're going to come out with. And yeah, they brought some good, interesting points up on there. I mean, I like them both anyway. Even though I'm a window cleaner, I'm not pressure washer. But yeah, it was interesting to hear some of the things Darren was saying in terms of like I think he mentioned they do a lease on the building every 5 years it renews. And this year it's renewed and they've got to pay 50% increase in ground rent. And like he's saying, he's got to put that cost onto his customers. Plus on top of that, he's got the price increases from the suppliers where he gets kit from as well. And how the hell do you do that? And we're worrying about how much to put someone's prices up for a house for window cleaning. You know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it? Oh yeah, I saw your comment on there, Ched. I think Sid answered it, didn't he? Saying it's going to be on Spotify. Yeah, it's really good, really interesting. It looks good. I look forward to following it. But yeah, when Darren said his things, and you think, for someone like Darren, what our problems are like 100 times more. You know what I mean? And again, he's got to walk that fine line of not charging too much, but you can't charge too less. So it's no different. It's just we're a smaller percentage in what he's doing, but it can be either for me or Darren. It's catastrophic, the effects it can have on you, isn't it? But this thing's been going on for years, isn't it? And people are around for decades doing this. Like some of you on here been window cleaning for like 30, 40 years. So you've seen it all and been through it. Pretty amazing. Chad's just saying, for most business, it's about what the customers will accept. We only find out when they dump us and what it's for, like over the price rise. Yeah. And it's all through trial and error, isn't it? Working these things out and having balls. And unfortunately, if you're like me, I suppose it's when you're backed, you get backed right in the corner before you do something about it and then say, sod it. And then you wish you'd done it earlier. Like I say, I've got to cover the finance of my van this year. Plus the increase, my insurance actually doubled. So it's gone from £51 a month to just over £100 a month. Because obviously it's a newer van as well. So that's actually £510 extra a month I've got to cover rather than absorb. So maybe that's why I said to my wife, playing around with the price increase, say that's what it's got to cover, that's what it's got to cover. And say bollocks to it. Got to do what you got to do, ain't you? So, what have we got this month? I should make a profit this month if I get all my work done. Plus I'm going to get an extra 2 days work in by working some Saturdays. However, it depends on the weather for the rest of the month. And I know what I make is not going to be enough to cover my tax bill, that's for sure. So it's more of a damage limitation. Yeah, Ched's just saying defo 5% increase. Food for thought, innit? Gonna have to swallow it and just do it. Yeah, seeing me van finance go out through the bank has given me the shove to stop treating this like a side hustle and giving you an incentive to switch on a bit. Yeah. It's easier said than done as well, isn't it? But you do have moments like me. I thought, right, that's it. Yeah, sometimes you've got to have a word with yourself. It's like a shot of reality, isn't it? I'd say the reality of window cleaning. Ooh, let me try and find something. So as a podcast. So I've got to go out, so I'm looking in the wrong place. Phone's downstairs, so I can't even use my phone. Where are we? Podcast. Right, got it. So I just had to look something up. Yeah, it's called the Window Cleaning Millionaire. It's a lad in America. I think he's been going 6 years. And I can't remember how many millions he's on now, if he's $2 or $3 million dollars turnover a year. And like he was paying, could hardly afford to pay his rent, which was cheap and in some grotty place, and now he's paying a lot of rent for a place and not even worrying about it. And he's got time now to do mentoring and this podcast. I like listening to that, but obviously it's an American look on things rather than UK. They do things different to us, don't they? So their cleans are a hell of a lot more money than ours because they tend to be annual. But it looks like they're trying to go every 6 months and even trying to get people on a quarterly. And I guess over time it's probably going to switch its way to the monthly or 8-weekly model that we tend to do. And obviously the prices will come down with that. But like they're saying is instead of having to spend the year trying to book all these jobs to cover the year and then chase them up to try and book another year, if you've got it every quarterly, you've got your work booked out and secured for like the next year, that sort of thing. But it's interesting listening to them. So they're only short little podcasts, maybe 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour tops, where he's in a car and he's just speaking out through his mind. Quite good to listen to. But yeah, a lot of things to get over, but there is always going to be something, isn't there? And if you can get over one thing, I'm sure you can get over another thing and just keep going. It's stupid, isn't it? You've got all these worries, yet all you want to do is service your customers, get out there, clean the windows, put a smile on the face, get paid, walk away, get the next one done. That's just hard work on its own. Because all these, just honestly, I swear, everything likes to get in your way and go wrong and fight you. And the more you fight back, the more it seems to want to fight to stop you again. But you got to laugh, haven't you? I suppose it's a bit early in the year to plan too far because we're just trying to get over Christmas. Your customers are trying to get over Christmas, and we're just wondering about the weather. Won't be long till we're in the shorts again, and we're having to drink plenty of water. And for someone like me who's on water tablets, that's plenty of stops as well. And then just trying to get through it. And then you'll get the comments saying you've got the best job in the world. Little do they know about the winter. And I'll let you know in February how I got on and got round the tax bill escapade. I'm sure I'll come up with a way. Because all I want to do is, if I have to pay the rest by instalments, that's why I want to get it, what I can get paid by the 20th, and then get in touch with them. Just say I pay the rest by instalments, but where if I have a good month, I can pay more off on that particular month to try and get it all paid back as soon as possible. So I'll have to have that discussion with them, I suppose. But you've all been saying they're pretty positive, so... Yeah, nearly saying a vicious circle, money in one hand and back out the other. I mean, I remember, because my mum left home when I was young, before I went off in the military and stuff. And I remember my dad coming, he used to go to work, bike home lunch, because we couldn't run a car. Bike home lunchtime, but he'd go into the town to get bits of things from the shop. He'd drawn money out of the bank, he'd open the cabinet in the house to write down figures on his notebook, then he'd laugh, go, bugger it, shit or bust. He'd always say that. And if we went out for a beer, he'd be like, shouldn't be doing this, but sod it, I'm not working all week for nothing. We used to have a tin
And you used to put 20p. Anytime you had 20p in your hand, we used to put the 20p's in the tin. And that'd be to pay the telephone bill. But when we're going out for being really short, we'd open that up, count how much money, and yeah, we can get around in with this. So things don't change really, do they, in life as things go on? But if you're surviving, that's obviously that's no mean feat, is it? You're doing well. That's what my dad says. If you can pay the bills, you're doing well. It's not easy, is it? But you just head down and get on with it. Get in work. And looking after what you got. Hi mate, you alright? We put our prices spread out through the year, January and April. Oh, do you do like an annual price increase, but you put it up? I know, let's just say if you're going to go up 5%, you do 2.5% price increase in January and then another 2.5% in April, sort of like that for an example. Is that what you mean? So you break it down so it's like a more gradual process to go up? Not heard of that before. How long have you been doing that, mate? Has it obviously worked out fine for you? To be honest, I think that most of my customers are expecting the price to go up anyway, because they all know I've had to go out and buy a new van because mine's busted and broken down. And I got hit with that one. But let's face it, if it's only like £1 or £2 a month, that's better than like £1 or £2 every item you're buying from the supermarket, isn't it? But they certainly make life hard, don't they? The government, it's a hard squeeze. So efficiency's the key at the end of the day, isn't it? Which is something I want to work on with Matthew and me, playing around with stuff. We'll see. I'm sure I'll still be, in 10 years' time, moaning about the same stuff, won't we? And cracking on. And perhaps we'll maybe look back and think I've been doing this for X amount of years, so I've got to have been doing something right, even though I'm not quite a millionaire. And the prize money in darts is quite good, so maybe we should be taking up darts in the evenings. Well, if I go on the dole and sit in the pub playing darts all day because I can't afford a pint, hustle for a pint and then become a world champion dart player. Yay. No, I'm sure they work hard what they do. Dread to think what they get taxed. But I think the prize money's gone up even if you go out in the first round, isn't it, this year? For the world darts anyway. Oh, so it's what you do, mate. Yeah, so you split your price increase through the year, but in 2 bits, January and April. Got you. That's interesting. It's a good tester as well, isn't it, I suppose? So I don't know what that no Mike G. I missed something. Oh, sorry, I'm just looking back in the chat. I can't see it. But yeah, it's an interesting approach because I've not heard anyone do that, so it's interesting. It's nice when someone does something a bit different, isn't it? Sort of like different approach, different look at things. Yeah, maybe I should start putting that in. Basically, claim for everything you can, isn't it, Nelly, really? Because the government are going to definitely take everything they can off us.
Oh, I see what you're saying, mate. Okay, so you put some up in Jan, some up in April, and not everybody at once in one hit. So like your January's your tester. And was it April again, he said? Yeah, and then April, put the other lot up if everything's gone so far good in January. I'm with you. Yeah, some of the lads on there like say to me, as you work through your round, tell them it's going up by or whatever much and see how the results going as you cycle through. But last time I just did everything in a oneer. I just used squeegee because I was trying to use a feature there. So I said to my wife, just press this button and bang, it'll automatically send everyone a text message. The new price is done as of 1st of April. I'm just going to do the same again. It cost me about 30 quid in text messages through squeegee though, but it'll be done and then see what happens. Give everyone 2 months notice. So February I'll be telling them all price rise. 2 months notice? That's 1 month, isn't it? Yeah. So in February we'll be telling them 1st of April price rise, and it'll tell them how much it will be for the next clean. Right, got you, mate. Yeah. Got the logic as well, like the others are saying. So it's like a tester. It all kind of makes sense as well. It's interesting, isn't it? Everyone's got a different way of doing things. Like I say, if you go off ChatGPT, it's saying 3 to 5%, or 1 to 3 is acceptable and 3 to 5 is okay as well, but that's the higher end every year. But as ChatGPT, I tend to treat that like Wikipedia. It's open source, so all the information it might come up with is not going to be true because of what's out on the internet, if that makes sense. It just pulls it all together for you, doesn't it, really? But yeah, that's why I swear supermarkets must have a formula. They just know what they're paying and it tells them how much to sell it for on the shelf to get it all out. My dad always used to tell me you want to be a grocer because the government don't know how many apples and veg you sell and people have got to eat. That's the thing though, isn't it? You look at stuff, it looks easy until you do it. And then you'll be surprised. It can be some very long hours for something you think is simple and easy, and it's not. So I can remember there was a window cleaner in the pub that I used to work at, would come in. He wouldn't be there all day, but he'd come in for a few pints. He'd be polite, but the moment he's gone, it'd be like, yeah, window cleaner. But you got to think everything was trad in them days as well, so ain't flaming easy, but they're just thinking on benefits, window cleaning, swindling. But he wasn't in a pub all day, you know what I mean? He was just having a couple of pints and then off. Yes, Jed, I know. I didn't notice that until I was being a window cleaner, and then I said to my wife, at the Chinese we go, I went, there's a reason why they're cash only, and have you seen how many customers come in and out of that shop while you're waiting for your takeaway order? So they've got their set hours and they're busy and there's a lot of cash. And then they're all living upstairs, aren't they, together? And it's not just the Chinese as well. It's I've seen kebab vans with signs saying cash only as well. Didn't mind because I was hungry for a kebab and it was nice. Yeah, I think everyone has that fear about increasing prices, but it's a trap long term. If you don't beat the cost increases, you're taking a pay cut. Gerald's saying as well, yeah, you usually put yours up in April. I said I'll do it in April in line with the tax year. And that's kind of like the way I've been going through it now. Yeah, James, you're right. We're moaning about the heat waves and the first cleans before we know it. I wonder how many first cleans we'll all be getting when we put the prices up in April. And then wondering, oh, my tax bill. Yeah, and Nellie's the same price increase with every April without fail. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I suppose if you don't want to go over the VAT threshold, that's when you probably hold back a bit. Yeah, and get your running costs as low as possible, your outgoings as low as possible. Tighten your belts. After Christmas, I think I need to lose some weight before I can do that. Yeah, Chad's just asking, is everyone doing it every year or every 2 years? I was going to go every 2 years, Ched, and I put mine up last year, but I'm putting them up this year because of my van, so I'm going to have to. And that's going to be the answer to the question. If everyone said gone up again, I'll explain why. I think Nelly says he does his every April. Yeah, she's saying most jobs £1 every year, big jobs 3 or 4, and I think that's what 5% plus £1 kind of does as well. Puts your lower end ones up £1, and the higher ones, like I said, that job that's 55 quid, I think would have pushed it to 58, being 5% rounded up to nearest pound, sure, something like that. Because at the end of the day, bigger jobs have got more windows, and if you're pricing it per window, they would be paying more than £1 each year, wouldn't they? It's the older people I feel sorry for sometimes. Because they kind of have to use you because they can't physically go out and clean the windows themselves. And they're kind of like your solid customers. I'm getting a few of them getting in ill health now, which is sad to see when you think you've took them on 5-6 years ago. And then for them, life's got shite. It's not good to see. But the good thing is they can come out and have a chat with you and chat like everything's normal, if you get what I mean. So feel normal for a bit, which is part of the job as well, isn't it? It's probably the one thing I'm good at with the window cleaning. But yeah, I'm hoping the rest of this month goes all right, and the rest of February as well. Be 50 in February and all. Still climbing up big ladders. One of the gutter jobs I did today, I've got a big triple extension ladder. It's a Victorian house, 3 stories to reach the gutters. He's got some plastic gutter guards in there, not the hedgehogs. I remember from last time I'd done the job, I said to my son, I said, I think they're all at the front and there's some down the side. I said, we'll have a look with the camera. But the guy came out and said, oh no, I've paid someone to take them out. Anyway, went up there, they're all there. So I've pulled all them out, got a big pile out the front of the house. He took his daughter to a party, so I said to his wife, do you want me to put them in the bin? And what bin? Or do you want me to leave them? She went, leave them there. I said, I'm only telling you because your husband mentioned that they'd been taken out, and I just thought, if you've paid someone to take them out, I'll show you they haven't took them out and had your, I didn't say they've had your eyes out. And she said, so I don't have a clue that my husband. So I said, all right, I'll leave them there if you want. I won't put them in the bin. So he said, leave them. He did say to us, if we find any, take them out, but they're all there. But at least I know next time round I'll do that job, it's going to be easier. Yeah, Jersey does it every year, and Nelly as well, yeah. Every year by £1, £2 or £3, depending on the house size. And you do commercial by inflation rate. Got to get above that curve, haven't you, and then stay ahead of it. And I suppose when you're quite far ahead, sorry, just in some dust, maybe 1 year you don't have to put your prices up. But that's a nice position to be in, really, isn't it? But the van problem's going to hit us all at some point, I suppose. I say when it come to me, it just come out of bloody nowhere. And like I said, for me, I'm thinking of David. If he can't find a job, I'm going to have to find him one, ain't I? I think it's the beauty with this. You can make it whatever you want, can't you? Joe's saying if your cost goes up by 6 to 8% a year and you leave it for 2 years, you'll never want to whack them up by 12, 16. So better like regular. So every year do small price increases. Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm going to have to go ahead. Whereas before I didn't. It was last year. Probably for the first 6 years, I didn't even put my prices up. We put the prices up, say, as we charged as we went along, but I didn't do any general price increases. But now, yeah, you're right, every year. And I think people have then learned to expect that as well. And like you say, because it's a small amount. I mean, Jesus Christ, look how much the price of milk's gone up over 2 years. Be more than what you're putting up your window cleaning, wouldn't it? That's just milk. You think all the other things you go out and buy, cheese and that. I wish I had a factory that made toilet paper. Everyone needs that. Be minted. But yeah, I mean, tax bill's the next problem. I think whatever your problem is, next month there's another one to aim for and get over, then another one. But I suppose once you've got everything, everything's right, you should hopefully start putting some money in the bank. It's just horrible how these things go against you and go wrong, isn't it? Sometimes think, why? I could understand if I'm an arsehole, but I'm not. But these things happen, don't they? Just never sit on your arse, isn't it, really? You've got to keep your finger on the pulse, spinning loads of plates, keep an eye on everything, always tweaking things. Which is probably why after doing this, you find it hard to sit still for 5 minutes. Yeah, if you do it everywhere, yeah, your customers expect it and it's not an issue. Yeah. Gets to the point where the customers are telling you, you're going to put your prices up. You need to put your prices up. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's a good thing on it with this. Your customers, when they like you and that, would worry if you didn't put your prices up because they know you're going to go out of business. And they want you to clean the windows, not someone else. They want to have to look for someone else. They trust you, if you get what I mean. Marcus saying I've got a 3-storey manor house to do off the ladders on Wednesday, as you can't water-fed pole it, with all the stone farms from the 1800s and lead frames. Got all the lime in the stone and it runs down the glass, so it's trad only. Right, I got you. Wow. Is it nice doing that one though, Marcus? Can I imagine it being an old farmhouse? Probably not nice in the winter, but in the summer. And if they've got cattle out and you can hear all that. And I bet they really appreciate it as well, knowing there's an issue with water-fed pole, because you've obviously done it before and worked out that that's the problem. But then you've found an answer with it by doing it traditional. And again, there's a lot of trust there, isn't it? You coming onto a farm, when you think all the kit they probably got about machinery, and if it's someone they don't know, it's a lot to worry about, isn't it? But it must be interesting. Not when it's windy, yeah. That's the thing with farms, they are a bit exposed, aren't they, with the open fields and that. But yeah, I bet it's nice to do though, to be doing something different. And if you're not pushed for time, you know what I mean? If you've got a bit of time, you can. So I do find trad sometimes a bit therapeutic because you have to think differently. But like I say, when your legs and that hurt and you're going up and down the ladders. Yeah, TJ saying a lot goes into this job, mate. It's hard, but when it all goes well, it is rewarding. Important to learn about the hard times and what to do to try and mitigate it. Every day's a school day, onwards and upwards, yeah. I think that's why I like some of Sid's Partridge's videos. I watched him when he had about 50 subscribers, because when I saw the roof, I was like, oh, I could be doing that. When he's talking about the money, and he's probably undercharging to what other people would do. And to me, I was like, wow, but no, I'm glad I didn't do that. It's hard work. But he seemed like normal, and he wouldn't keep out the things that were going wrong. And you could see when things got wrong, how peed off he was, you know what I mean, inside. But he found a way to overcome it and get the outcome, which was a good job done, which is the same with all of us with a window cleaning. And that's your reward, isn't it? That's the buzz in this, I think. When things go wrong, you somehow still find a way to deliver. And like you say, that's when you learn when the hard times are. So, you know, next time that hard time comes up, you've got an instant solution to it rather than having to work it out. You know exactly what to do. And that's experience, isn't it? And that's what your customers are charging for, maybe. And that's what I found out on Saturday with all my gutters. And like I say, we're doing stuff. Then my camera, I was like, that's not charging. I've got me gutter cam. Action 4, action camera. So we're going to have to use that on my pole and use my phone as a monitor. Because I've got standards at the end of the day. I want to prove and be able to see the gutters are clear. So that's what we did. And got the job done just in time for it to just turn dark and get home. Which is why I had to clean everything out today when I did my van. But that's all done. It's a funny old game, innit? Gerald's just saying, yeah, things go wrong for all of us, mate. I had two ops a few years ago. I had to take 12 weeks off. Work out where we kill your business and prepare for it. Having money set aside can solve most of it. Yeah, so you just got to work full stop, haven't you? Whether the weather's good or the weather's bad, get out there. Because you never know what's around the corner. I know, like when I had all my heart problems, I'm lucky that my wife drove the van. She cleaned some windows, although she's suffering because she's got her problems. And then it was Matthew and Sophie then. They did the cleaning as normal. Luckily for me, it's only 2 weeks when I was completely laid up because everything was bad. But before then, I just kept working when doctors saying I shouldn't and couldn't believe I was still going. But I was like, got to get paid. It's just easy to get carried away in it, I think, when you're having a good few months. Just bank it. Yeah, you're right, Ched. As they say, make hay while the sun shines. So get it in when you can to make up for when you can't. No, got no holidays booked, Mark. I did say to my wife that I need to book. I need to get myself a passport because I'm out of date, and then we should perhaps sometimes aim to take 1 day off at least a month, so it gives us a long weekend and we'll just shoot off somewhere. But as normal, I'm always either paying something off or digging myself out of a hole somewhere. But that would be an aim, mate. It is, mate. I've had 2 years. Oh, you have a 2-year-old that's always off in hospital. Oh no, on and off. Hard to manage. Keep going, but we'll always find a way to work it out. Things will get better in time for all of us. Yeah, it's just sticking with it, innit, mate? Sorry to hear that. And I suppose that's another good thing about having your job and being self-employed, isn't it? Is things like this. You know you can be there. Whereas having a job where you're away or committed to something, it's these things you miss out on. And that's a big positive and plus of being in charge of your own business, self-employed or whatever it is. You can do this. And that's what matters. Family. What's my day like tomorrow for work? Let me have a look. So I've just got to open up another program. Got windows open all over the place on my monitor. Right, Squeezy's just opening up. Work planner. Right, Monday I've got 14 jobs, which will be a total of 483. 8 of them are in one area. And then the rest of them are in local to where I live, basically. So it's one of them days where if everything goes sweet, it goes well. But if I get a couple of hiccups, it can be a struggle, especially this time of year in winter. And plus I have one guy, it sounds high. So I'll just get rid of the window out of the way. We've listed every job that we do for him, but when I turn up, I ask him, what do you want me to do? And then I take off the jobs we don't do. So that's why the price sounds really high. He's got like I forgot what it's bloody called. Is it Airbnb? So if someone's in there, we don't clean the inside of it. If no one's in, we tend to clean the inside and the outside, as well as the bit he lives in. And sometimes we clean inside his conservatory, sometimes we don't. So the whole job can be a lot, but it's not like that every time we turn up. It depends what's going on, if that makes sense. And he's a really good guy as well, and he's a financial advisor, so I'm pretty sure that is someone I could sit down and have a cup of tea and a chat with, and he'd help me out. So it's another good thing about this job is you get a lot of good customers, don't you, who have experienced into other things and could give you advice that a lot of people would pay a lot of money for, because you're a hard worker and that. Yeah, definitely important to have a holiday once a year though. Even if it's in the UK, we all need a reset. You're true. Something that I haven't done for a long time. I think, God, it could be 2 or 3 years ago where we did a family holiday in Hull, of all places, and that was for a week. Again, going back to what Rowan's saying about vans or multivans, if I did have a second van and not push it so everything was loaded every single day, that could be an example of getting ahead over time and catching up after a holiday without peeing off my customers. Like I said, I get another van just to do a better work-life balance, if that makes sense. But it's got to be viable. I've got to get this price increase in and get rid of my tax bill and all that lot first. There's always something, but there is for everyone. But at least I'm out there working, you know. And I'm doing something I like. Mark is saying people probably think I'm mad, but I use ladders and vac on gutters. One on ladders, unblocking the downpipes and pushing muck into an area like with a pro gutter, and then someone can go and vacuum that pile up. And because they're saying sometimes you've got to go up because downpipes anyway. I don't think you're mad, Marcus. There's been times where I've gone up on a ladder and then just used the hose to suck stuff out just because it's easier. Different occasions for different things. I have different plans, like when I'm working with David and Matthew Saturday on that house where I had to take all the gutter guards out, and my plan was to them is to start in an area they could clean something where they weren't in. And I said in the meantime I'll take the gutter guard off, slide the muck along, put it down and do that, and then like you say they'll have a clump just to hoover out rather than the whole lot, because it'd save time. But the guy said to take them all out, so that's what I ended up doing anyway. And sometimes I find, like on conservatories, just stand on my step ladder and use the hose from my gutter vac because I'm looking in rather than keep checking with the camera, just seeing go as I'm doing it. You just always thinking what's the most efficient way of getting it done, innit? And I think there's more people who do similar who don't admit that as well. Yeah, so the guy on the ladder is the camera, like you're saying. It could be, so it's quicker. Like say, then hoovering, check with the camera, hoover, check with the camera. Well, I've got my, until my camera's played up, the sky cam, we have it on the poles of the gutter vac, so we can clean and then check and as we go. Which can be all right sometimes, and sometimes the camera can be a pain because it's hitting roof tiles, so then sometimes you don't bother because you're doing it by sound and feel, but I always like to check after. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying, Marcus, mate. Yeah, Jed, I've thought that. Thing is, I've got to find a job where we're not pushed for time, where I can sit back and let him have a go, which I have done before, and watch him struggle. But there was things he's doing on Saturday, because it was an old Victorian house. He got the triple ladders out, moved them, put them up on his own, went all the way up. And there's a bit of the guttering that runs over an extension, so he had to use off the ladder a water-fed pole to kind of hook and drag the plastic gutter guards towards him that were tricky. So he's trying to pull them out, so when I got to that point I could just quickly hoover it out, and he did that all off his own back. So he does think like that, mainly because the incentive is we all get home quicker. But yeah, he does do some bits, but it definitely has got to be the point, because I'm going to become too old to do all that. I mean, my biceps were killing me on that job because it's so wet. The poles and the hose of the gutter vac were quite heavy. Yes, mate, I'm still using the Ultimate with fan jets. I was telling Matt, because Matt's been using that one way before me. I quite like it, actually. Like I say, it's light, can move it around the glass quite quick, and it's nice. It's good. It's doing just as good job as the X-Line one, to be honest. And yeah, I'm liking it. Although on one of my brushes, the fan jets have kind of blocked up, but I've just used the other one I had brush, swapped them round. So I've got to try and clean them out. I don't know if people use like a paper clip or something, or just buy a couple more fan jets, put them in. I didn't know if it was because it's got frozen with the weather, but I expect there's a bit of grit in there or something. Hi Kev, mate, you alright? Hi Rob, very late to the party this evening. Hope you're okay. You are right, mate. It's obvious Matthew does his fair share of the tricky ones. Yeah, he does muck in, but I think sometimes he sits back a bit when he knows we're pushed for time, because he seems to think I can know the answer, but I don't. I just think on my feet and try it. But he does muck in. He's better than what he used to be, put it that way. Although he is good at watching me climb the gates with the ladders. Oh, that's another one. Has anyone else found? I've been getting really good when it comes to gates that are shut. I've got a small step ladder. It's only like 2 steps high, and we use that just so we can reach over the gates a bit better to slide the bolts down. But sometimes you get a bolt, don't you, towards the bottom of the gate. And I found I just put my water-fed pole down the other side, and using the clamps, I can twist it round, the levers for the clamps, and I use that to grab hold of the bolt, and I can lift it up and slide it across. Sometimes, though, on the other hand, you have to lift up the gate, especially this time of year, because all the expansion with the wood. And then I loosen the gate off that way, and then bang, we're in. And I sometimes find that's quicker than knocking on the door and waiting to see if someone's in, or for someone to come and answer the door, because chances are they're in the toilet. So I'll probably make a good robber. All I need is a little 2-step step ladder and a water-fed pole, and I'm in the garden. So I just seen Matt's comment. Yeah, good one. Stanley blades to clean the jets out. Oh, that's what you've done, is it, Matt? I'll have to have a go tomorrow then. But I've got a brush working fine anyway. And I've turned my water down from 60 to 45 as well. I trialled that out, I think it was Friday. So I'll see, like, because Matt said try and turn your water down, see if that Saved me a bit of water. Seems to be working fine so far. Suppose maybe turn it up in the summer when you're dealing with more crud and that on the windows. Kev's saying you've also found the Gardner fans are blocking or distorting, a bit very quickly nowadays. Not sure why. Oh, it's not happened before then. I wonder if it's like a quality issue. I just wonder if it's a bit of grit got in there. Like I said, failing out to buy 2 brand new fan jets, whack them in and then try and sort out the other ones. I don't know, I'll do something, but I've got a brush that's working fine anyway. I mean, to be fair with the X-Line, what do you call it? Rinse bar, you get blockages in there anyway. I think whatever you get, there's going to be a blockage somewhere. TJ's saying you use the DA components fan jets with a Gardner brush. Oh, right, and you find they have a slightly better flow and rinse. Slight, but it's noticeable. Ah, that's worth a shout. I'll have to have a look at them, mate. Hi, mate, you alright? I keep on getting bits of black rubber in your Gardner jets. Oh, I wonder where that comes from. Do you reckon that comes in where you slide in the... I can't think of the word now. The bit of hose anyway that enters the back of the jet. Is there any rubber in there and it's like deteriorated and pushed through, do you think? It's interesting. Mark is saying 50% of my work is locked gates. Even the trad work over the gate with ladders for years. Some people don't want to leave it unlocked while out. Yeah, I know. And some people generally forget. My son and daughter used to moan going, just don't clean it. I was like, if I don't clean it, I can't charge it. So I'm up and over the gate. I get what they're coming from, but my argument is when you've done it a few times in that house, it's literally 2 minutes to get a ladder off your van and I'm in the garden cleaning and it's back over done. And I get it. Especially as that time wasn't there. I don't know if it's like when lockdown was on. Where people are going around nicking people's dogs from gardens. So people didn't want to leave the gates unlocked, and I totally get that as well. It's just something to live with. Kev's just saying he agrees as well. DA component jets are very good. May have to try that. Oh, so you glue them in with a bit of adhesive and it works a treat. Ched's just saying Laurie TM8 could be a pump is failing and the diaphragm is rubber right deteriorating. You're just saying as well you think it could be the same. Little push fit part breaks down a bit. Yeah, I suppose. Well, it doesn't have to be an old pump for that to do it, does it? It doesn't matter how careful you are, there's still mud that gets inside your tank. I mean, I see it at the bottom of mine. So I used to say to the kids, when we transfer the water through my transfer hose, just squirt the water out first, because when they drop it over the fence, so if it's hitting the floor, it's getting mud in there and it's going in the tank. Oh yeah, Kev's saying that, sorry. Nellie's saying you never got on with fan jets, always use pencil jets or a rinse bar. But yeah, you like the V-jets, don't you, from DA Components. So a pin, like a safety pin, is it? I thought of that myself. James is saying I replaced my Gardner fan jets, the push-in where the clear tube meets in we're wearing. Got you. It's still good though, I like it. It's a good brush. Yeah, it cleans alright, it's fine. I give everything a good scrub. I wouldn't say I'm quicker, but I feel quicker. Makes me feel better anyway, and I definitely notice it on the Velux windows awkward windows to get to because the brush is like 100 grams lighter than the ones I previously used. And I'm getting older. And the thing I like with the fan jets though is, I must admit, doing the Velux windows is sometimes I don't rinse them. I rinse with the, you know, after I've cleaned them, I rinse with the brush on the glass, because the angle it's at, it sheets down really well. So if it's that awkward, that's what I do. Master's saying the fan jets are saving me a lot of water. I rarely use more than 200 litres a day now. Oh, I wish. See if I can get your name a bit smaller. Whoa, what have I done? Uh-oh. Sorry, just sort something out, Matt. How's that? So TJ saying I battled with fans, but once you find a method that works, it's best rinsing while not using a lot of water. Yeah. All these things help, don't they? That's not, is it, Nelly, compared to what I go through? I find if it's loose bits of grit, sometimes I have to go over it a couple of times, but on the whole, if I've given it a good scrub, most of it's rinsing down while I'm cleaning it, so it's just minimal stuff. And to be honest, it was the same with the rinse bar in a way. You don't want to know what it lasts me. I suppose it doesn't matter what you're using, is it really? It's just confidence and the time of year. I expect summer's going to be harder because you've got all the bird poo and everything on the windows, slug trails, more scrubbing. Honestly, it's water, not gin. TJ saying I go frames, then up and down, once over, side to side, then a quick rinse. Yeah, it's pretty much, I do the top frames, then I start on the side. If it's fairly clean, I'll start going from the side of the frame across the glass to the other side, then I go back to the top of the glass, side to side, and then quick zigzag down the bottom and then rinse, if that makes sense. Sometimes I change it up just to be different. And obviously if I see anything stuck on there, then that's what I go over. The secret, isn't it, is to clean in the window, because your frequency is good, that it's almost clean to start with. But it all depends on the weather, time of year, and if you've got problems that make you go behind. Yeah, Matt's saying you'll be surprised how little water you need to clean a window when it's a maintenance clean, and because your clean's never late. That's all going to help, innit? It's like me when I get behind because of this or because of that. That's what you pay. But luckily I'm all cut up from that fan issue problem. It's just now the weather. There we go. I think that's better. Very true. And it is tough when you get behind. You can't help it when it goes wrong. It's weird, isn't it? I think just after Christmas, some people don't mind you being a little bit late because it's a bit of a saving for them. And I think as well, because of the winter, the windows don't seem to get as dirty as quick as what they do in the summer. Lou's just saying true. I'm really late at the moment and every house is taking longer than usual, so it's even harder to catch up. When I'm on time, it's quick and easy to clean and it's easy to keep up, yeah. But sometimes you just can't help what goes against you. Like I said, it seems simple, but some things just want to fight you so hard to just, all you want to do is get in your van and go out and work. It's not like you're someone who doesn't want to work, you know what I mean? Things just seem to go against you. Most of mine on the time, Matt. It's just when I get problems come up that stops me from working, like all them van issues, and that put me back over 3 weeks. And sometimes more with the customers at every 8 weeks, because leading up to, in that 8 week period leading up before that, I'd lost a few days here and there where I've equipment failures. It is rare that I fall behind, but when I do, I'm just really am behind. I can't catch up. That's it. Ah, mate, yeah, school holidays, childcare. Like I said, some things just, they're out of your hands. Yeah, I'd say I'm as much as 800 litres on a day. So I've been less than that at the moment, though, lately, because it's winter and everything seems a bit easier to clean. But that's because there's 3 of us, you know what I mean? I'm sure if I was on my own, and they was on their own, would overall use less. Marcus just saying as well, I'm always behind. All my cleans are hard commercial work is on time, no probs. Everything else is always late, yeah. When I'm late, I can't catch up. It's impossible. Because I try and maximise a full day as a full day of window cleaning, if that makes sense. So that's something we try and do, is cram it in. I'll try and get my work so in the winter can finish by 4, but obviously can't when it's just me and Matthew, hence why I'm using David. In an ideal world, that'd be great. But I think as long as it's a working day 8 till 5, that's what I try and work, 8 till 5. It's just a problem in the winter. Because to me, if I'm not working when I could be working, I'm losing money. But obviously, you could have took on too much, you know what I mean? Matt's just said to Nelly, do you do water in their gardens? I feel like watering their gardens, but there's too many security cameras around, if you know what I mean. Reminds me, actually, I haven't made my sandwiches for tomorrow, so I better make them soon. Like you say, it's nice when it all works out well in window cleaning, and it can be hell when some things just go wrong and against you. Just got to roll with it. I think it's important not to stress when behind, and don't say you can't catch up. Just accept you're late slightly. Yeah, I just accept I'm late. It's glass at the end of the day. And luckily, like I said, my customers had me that long. It's not like if on the calendar I'm a few days late and they think I might have not turned up at all. They just know I will be there. It's just obviously a lot's gone on, whether things have gone wrong or whatever. It's not like I will not turn up, you know what I mean? Yeah, but at the same time, you want to provide the best service you can for your customers. Because you want them to stay with you, don't you? I've always got a spray bottle of Ubic in my pouch to cope with the grubby. Yeah, I've Synergy Pro is what I've got mixed up in the spray bottle all the time. I've got the walnut pads, the mock-off brush, the plastic scraper. Got an array of things that come in handy. Years ago as well, I'd have even got my ladder off my van, climbed up the ladder to a top window to scratch it with a pad to get off something that's been a pain, because I find it's quicker doing that than trying to persevere with the brush. And then giving in after a while, then get my lather. And I could have just got the ladder in the first place because I just can't be arsed. So it's what I used to say to Matthew, instead of can't be arsed, when you can't be arsed, that's when you know you've got to bother your arse, basically. Have a word with yourself and say, sod it, just do it. It'll be better in the long run, be quicker. Right, I'll call it a night soon anyway, because I have to make my sandwiches for tomorrow. Otherwise I won't be eating. And I'll be getting too slim too quick. I hope the rest of the week goes well for everyone. The weather's obviously, I'm sure, going to be the weather, but as long as it's workable, I'll be happy. I've got full waterproofs, Gore-Tex jacket, Gore-Tex trousers, so I'm set. And then away I go. It's just down to how many skips you get in it. But if you're not out there, you ain't getting anything. Gerald's saying, don't overpromise, keep your customers informed. I have a tracker. Oh, that's interesting, on your website. Lets them know when I complete each area so they know I'm not far away. I text if I am on holiday. Yeah, I find as well in it's just communications. If you keep people in the know, they're happy generally. It's a two-way street, isn't it? Yeah, take it easy, TJ, mate. Thanks for being here. And you, James. And I hope everyone has a good week out on the glass and stay safe. And I hope the weather's on our side so we can all get work. Because I've got to pay the tax man. Wish I was Robin Hood. Right, I'll call it a night, guys. Thanks for watching and see you next week. Take care.